9th, 1989, the world witnessing an American president talking up capitalism as a wall came down. 21 years later, did the world just witness the reverse? Welcome, everyone. I'm Stuart Varney in for Neil Cavuto. This is Your World. President Obama telling the world today, we want China to succeed and prosper, and we are not interested in containing that process. Don't get the Donald started. You've heard him say we're losing our country before, but wait until you hear him now. Donald Trump joins me on the phone. Donald, what do you make of the president's statement on China today?
Well, I think it's absolutely terrible, Stuart. It's just unbelievable, unthinkable. Can you imagine Ronald Reagan making that statement? Can you imagine almost any president making that statement? China is succeeding. They're rebuilding their country off our money. I mean, we're making so many products in China, paying China so much money for those products that you go to these Chinese cities, they're rebuilding cities, and they're building new cities that are bigger than any of our cities. It's absolutely insane to have made that statement.
But, so what are you going to do about this? Obviously, we've got a trade problem with China, but we've got news today that GE is getting a $2 billion investment out of China, and news also today that Saginaw, Michigan is now, China is the #1 employer in Saginaw, Michigan.
Sure, that's a tiny little place that is wonderful, but they're using that just to show how nice they are, when in fact they're not looking for our good, and they shouldn't be. They should be looking for their good.
What do we do about it?
And they have people that are very, very smart. What I would do, you have such a huge deficit with a trade deficit with China. Their currency is artificially low, and see, we've fallen into the Chinese trap. We're now destroying the dollar in order to try and compete with them. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be keeping the dollar strong and stable, and we should tax Chinese products. And the people that talk about free trade, we don't have free. I'm a big free trade believer, by the way, but we don't have free trade with China. China is literally going to destroy this country. If we don't get smart quickly, China will destroy our country. Now, and they'll do it with a smile, and our people have no idea what's happening.
Now, President Obama looked like he was staking out a business negotiating position with the Chinese in advance of the big meeting that's coming up. How would you judge President Obama and his business negotiating skills?
Well, we've got the wrong people negotiating for us. Now, when General Electric, and they're very good friends of mine, they're partners of mine, they're great people, $2 billion is a drop in the bucket. Now, we'll get front page news, $2 billion, but we're losing hundreds of billions of dollars to China. We're rebuilding China. And in 10 to 12 years, China's going to make us look like small-timers. It's off our back.
But if we do something dramatic vis-a-vis China, isn't there a danger that we just ignite a trade war at a very difficult time for the world economy?
Well, I'd love to have a trade war with China.
Really?
Because if we did no business with China, frankly, we'll save a lot of money. I mean, we're losing a fortune to China. When you talk about even trade, they've devalued their currency, totally devalued their currency. So I buy many products from China, and I will tell you, the American, and you know, because I have no choice, the American companies can't compete because they've devalued their currency. Now we've fallen into the trap. We're devaluing our currency in order to compete. What that's going to do is instability in this country. A loaf of bread is going to cost $20 pretty soon. A candy bar is going to cost $10. People are going to see. And look what's happening with oil, our lifeblood. Oil is going through the roof. Now, that's a combination of China and, of course, OPEC is laughing at us.
All right, Donald Trump, you're taking a very strong line there. Trade war with China, you don't mind it, but that's the last word. Donald Trump, always a pleasure. Thanks very much, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Well, the government